Coming back to our 2x2 system that we set up in the last video, we are now going to go through all of the tabs of the ACM. Starting with the drag and drop page. You can see where you are located in the ACM from the blue line under the icon in the top toolbar. Drag and drop is a visually simple way to switch inputs on a multicast system by simply dragging a transmitter to the receiver you wish to view it on. The thumbnails that you can see are pulled in live every 2 to 3 seconds, letting you see in real time what's going on. Should you want to see the preview of a specific TX or RX, make your way over to the preview page. Using the drop-down menu, you can now select which unit you would like to see the preview of. Moving on to the Projects tab, you will now see a live view of your system. The top half of the page you will see all the transmitters and receivers that are already part of your system, with the bottom of the page showing any unassigned default units. Should you wish to add them into the system, click the Assign New Devices, and the ACM will seamlessly add them into your system. On this page you can also toggle the size of the system, should you now be going above 75 units. Toggle the OSD on the displays for identification, export the current project, or should you need to restore the project, you can import a backup that you have. You can also clear down the whole project, removing all TX and RX units, but do remember this doesn't factory reset them, they still retain their settings internally. You can also click the header of each field to sort the information of the units by ID or name alphabetically, or whether the units are online or offline. Filtering by online and offline can be helpful for larger systems, bringing the offline units to the top of the list. The continually scan and auto assign and scan once buttons allow you to scan continuously or once to find a single new unit to add into the system. Now onto the Transmitter tab. The Transmitter tab will allow you to amend any settings on your transmitter units, with a breakdown of all the most important information shown in the list, including the ID, name, MAC address, firmware version, whether the unit is online or offline, and the EDID and audio status. For more advanced settings, simply click the Actions button for the required TX. From here you can change the name of the unit, its ID, change the audio source, the HDCP mode, toggle on or off CEC, change the front panel settings, flash the power LED for identification, copy the EDID from a particular receiver, change the serial settings for RS-232 pass-through, preview a thumbnail from the unit, reboot, replace or remove the TX from the project, or factory reset the unit. Moving to the Receivers tab, you will see all of the key information as you did on the transmitter summary. However, you can now change the source the RX is viewing, also being able to change the scaler output from the drop-down menu, and the option to toggle HDR support on or off. You can also amend the function of the unit between matrix and video mode, although this is currently greyed out as we don't have a video wall. Again, the Action tabs gives you ability to amend specific features on the receiver. These mainly are changing the name and ID of the unit, changing the HDCP mode, changing the ARC mode, this is only available on the 300 series, enable or disable fast switching, enable or disable CEC, turn the HDMI output of the receiver on or off, turn on or off the video mute which will send out a black frame, video pause which will freeze frame the video output, or video auto on, overriding all of the video output settings when a new input is detected. Enable or disable front panel IR or control from the front panel buttons, change the front panel settings, flash the power LED for identification, rotate the image, change serial settings for RS-232 pass-through, preview a thumbnail, finally reboot, replace, remove or reset the receiver. Now moving on to the Fixed Routing tab. Here we can apply a fixed route for video, audio, IR, serial, USB or CEC, and in the case of the IP300 range we can also set a fixed route for ARC using the drop-down menus. For this video we're going to skip the video wall setup. This is something we will cover in a video of its very own. Moving to the Users tab. By default, you have an admin and guest profile. By default, your guest user has access to all inputs and outputs. You can amend this by clicking Actions and then Permissions. You can also delete the guest user by clicking Delete. Don't forget though, that can be reversed and you can add the guest user back in. A guest user doesn't require a PIN to have access to the system. To enable a user that does need a PIN, delete the guest account. Then click Add New User. From here you can name the user and give them an individual password. Once you've done that, you can then amend the permissions, giving access to as much or as little of the system as you want. Within the Settings tab, we have the ability to clear the project entirely. But remember, as previously when we've cleared down the project, the units themselves do not get reset. All of the units will still maintain all of the settings that you have applied to them. They're just cleared from the ACM. You do also have the ability to completely factory reset the ACM, again, not affecting the transmitters and receivers. You will also see 4 update buttons. The top update button allows you to change settings on the ACM, including IR, the telnet port, and the RS-232 baud rate for connection to the ACM. The next update button allows you to change the domain name or beacon name of the ACM. The third button allows you to amend the IP address of the control side of the ACM, to toggle DHCP on or off, or to just set a specific static IP address. The fourth button allows you to change the IP address of the video side of the ACM. However, this isn't really recommended as the ACM knows what it's doing and where everything should be and where it needs to report into. We're going to skip the update tab for now because we're going to cover that in a video of its own. The Update Password tab allows you to update the password specifically for the admin account. And finally, the Logout button taking you full circle back to the drag and drop control page on the guest account.